my overall wish and hope would be every black person would just not vote at all, period. That would be my number one wish list. Because neither party, neither candidate, neither party, and not only these two guys, throughout the history
of America.
From
day one.
The black community has never benefited directly from any, like direct policies from these guys. And it's empty promises. And we continuously, each election, each time, we get pumped up, we go out, and they tell us to just vote, and we do that, and we just vote, and we watch all of these different other communities and different races of people. They get all of these policies, they get everything, and we don't get a goddamn thing.
They get
ever.
all that respect, and we don't get nothing.
We don't get nothing.
And we had a president
Even
already.
going back, all the way back, we still waiting on reparations that they promised us.
Who's still waiting on reparations?
Because when you talk about Kamala Harris, she's kind of, the conversation is divided in Black America as far as whether people want to get behind her or not, right? And so now that Biden has dropped out of the race, now it's a divided community, whether it's she's not black, what has she been doing for the past 4 years? When she was a prosecutor, she was behind putting X amount of black people in prison at alarming rates, okay? And then on the other hand, you have the other side of the community saying, well, she is of color, and it's anybody but Trump, and then and we need to get out and we need to vote her in. And so it's like it's a community divided, and so and what I'll save my comments for then. But you guys, you got anything to say on that?
I mean, I'm well documented. Anybody but Trump, whatever it takes to beat that guy, needs to happen. I'm not changing on that. Not apologizing for it. Nothing. I think that the Biden campaign was just dead on arrival. He there was no buzz, there was no momentum, there was no movement to it. He just looked increasingly incompetent and out of touch and just not having his faculties, and there was nothing to rally around. And I'd heard for several months that come the convention that he would step down and they'd appoint somebody else. I do think that by going with Harris, and it's not official until the convention.
Right.
So it's worth noting that. But significantly, most major folks on the Democratic side have endorsed her, which is significant.
Biden being one. Right.
Biden, yeah, but so it is important that she has that. Now, if you look at it, obviously you're the vice president. If your president steps down and you don't get the opportunity, that's a very bad look. And I have some measure of respect the fact that they have endorsed her and they're going to move forward with her at this point that we can tell. And so I think that that's a good thing, and I think that there is a momentum now. There is talking points that there was none when Biden was running, other than just he looks like crap. And now you have a debate, even if it's a debate of whether should I support her or should I not. Well, if you're thinking about that and talking about that, you're not talking about that other motherfucker. Mm-hmm. And so that alone puts you kind of ahead as far as, party politics or having your shine in this moment. I thought it was actually interesting and good that this happened after the Republican convention where Trump was approved. Because the reality is, if this happened earlier, and there's a good argument to be like, why? I mean, Biden was just bad from the jump. Like, why didn't this happen months and months ago? Well, one thing that happened is because, it happened when it did, they're already stuck with Trump. And if the narrative changes, the best thing you had is that you're a geriatric white man who's slightly more energetic than the other geriatric white man, now that doesn't matter. And that's been the best thing you've had to neutrals.
Yeah.
Now your MAGA fuckers are never. You're never changing them. They're gonna die the way they are, and I hope it's soon. But what you're gonna have is neutral people who were uncomfortable voting for Biden because he just looks so bad, and we're either gonna sit out, not vote, or maybe vote for the other guy. Now those people have something to consider. You know, they have a candidate with a pulse. They have a candidate who, you know, might stand for something or what have you. And the other thing, it also comes on the heels of like Trump's like pathetic pandering to black people. And now you have a person of color as the candidate. And I think that, you know, that's one of those things that like, and he'd really kind of ramped that up lately. So again, that kind of undercuts a little bit of that, you know, as far as that goes. And so, you know, the timing of it I thought was interesting, but you can read into it, I think, some positive, you know, things as far as getting a dialogue, getting something on the Democratic side that's talked about, that's debated, that's considered. And then I, you know, heard some things that now he's maybe not going to want to do a debate.
but she's can be a strong debater.
You don't want no smoke.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, it's no surprise. I mean, at the end of the day, he is a bully, and bullies are always babies.
Yeah,
they're always babies. And when the real smoke comes, he's gonna hide.
Yeah,
whatever form that comes.
A bully fighting the case is nuts.
Yeah, he wouldn't do well.
He doesn't do well at anything if you have a brain.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say because he beat Biden for what it's worth in that first round, but he wouldn't beat Kamala.
That's a politically active black man. America overall is weird, but Democrats specifically are like a different flavor of weird. So it's like you're sitting here and you're watching them go through their thing, and you can't really even say much because again, you have this man that's clearly on his last legs. And y'all are telling us, oh, this is our candidate. We're sticking with our nominee. And then they pulled the okie doke, like you pointed out. It's like, okay, do I give you credit because you guys are tacticians, or is Biden just old as shit? It's like I don't know. Like, do you give them, like, was this part of the plan? And if that was part of the plan, American politics has become really bad for my political correctness. Because you want to say, oh, no, everyone's just in it for, you know, for the good. Everyone is just playing fair and this and the third. But that was a wild okie doke they pulled on them boys. I'm not going to lie. It's been
horrible for a long time.
You know, I mean, like
you've had, you know, a radicalized Republican Party that's drifted further and further into ignorance. And that, like, you do not have middle of the road politics. And middle-of-the-road politics are like where elections can swing freely. When you're looking at two people who, you know, their views aren't all that different. You know, maybe there's a little different approach to different issues, but everyone agrees what the facts are. And it's like, do you like or trust that candidate to do better than the other guy? But you don't have that. We have extreme politics. And we have, you know, polarizing politics where you have groups of people that are just never going to be swayed either way, and you're fighting for a very narrow middle ground.
Yeah, this is not politics. I'm a nerd, so like I get offended because it's like this is not politics. Ever since Trump came into the equation, even before Trump, ever since the Republican Party looked at Obama and was like, yo, if we work with this dude, we are never getting into power again. So from day one, we're just going to decide to like sabotage. Y'all decided to sabotage democracy and y'all were not like excluded from the political process. This is no longer politics. This is one cult versus another cult, you know? And it's you know, the Republicans started it, but the Democrats aren't much better. Because again, how is it y'all have a 300-year-old man, he can't go up the stairs? Like, this is why you guys have primaries. You remember the primaries? I was watching the primaries. Were you watching the primaries?
No, not this
They had some random guy from Minnesota was the only other candidate, and like every time they spoke about him, they just shitted on him. It was like, oh yeah, this guy's decided to run a primary against the president. Isn't he stupid? Oh, we just gonna joke on him. Like, I mean, but when y'all had other qualified candidates, you guys didn't nurture them. You guys didn't get them. Like, there was no one in the gym putting shots up for like when the star player hangs up his jersey. The star player is 300 years old.
Yeah.
The star player was old enough to remember segregation. Like,
yeah.
Like, why don't you guys have a bench? Like, again, this is not how the game is played. That's all I keep. That's the only thought I have on politics these days. That's why when people ask me about who I vote, when people ask me who I vote for, I always say I just vote local, because at least locally, like, you can actually touch these people. We can actually have a conversation. Like, we're actually living in the same world. I don't know what world these people are living in, where they see a man that can't even go up a flight of stairs and be like, oh, yeah, he's definitely going to be our nominee. And then the next day, it's, oh, well, yeah, we have a new candidate, by the way. Look at the other guy. He's so old. You guys were just telling me age wasn't an issue 5 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Like, the gaslighting is nuts. The gaslighting is crazy. Everybody is weird. Everything is weird. The fact that Trump is a nominee is weird because if I remember correctly, he tried to do a coup last time. Y'all gave him the keys, and now y'all talking about giving him the keys again.
Yeah.
Clearly, y'all have some kind of arrangement, or y'all have some kind of understanding, because y'all wouldn't be playing this crazy if like things were serious. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even like what we were talking about Biden, okay, his main job wasn't campaigning. His main job was to be the president. So we all just realized Biden was old. Whoops, our fault. But he still got the nuclear codes and everything. So like the country was running with him asleep in the office or whatever. Who was making these decisions?
Oh, clearly,
like
it's clearly the team of people he has around, but both guys,
So we're voting for the team then? Because if that's the case, if that's the case, then why didn't you stick with your guy?
No, but you have to vote for the team, and it's significant.
Yeah, I don't be liking the team either.
No, it's fine. I mean,
the team be kind of shaky.
No, I mean, I think that's one of the other reasons why I find Trump so objectionable. I think he's completely interested in his own staying out of jail. Yeah. He doesn't give a damn about politics of the country. But what's funneled in behind him is a bunch of radical ideologues who are going to push just an absurd agenda forward.
Remind me if you can. Trump offered somebody VP, not the guy he tried to get killed, but a different guy. Trump offered someone VP and was like, yo, I just want to be the president. Like, you can control all the policy stuff. Like, you pick the policies and things. I just want to be out here and do rallies and stuff. Like, that was a direct quote from the dude.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And I'm like, you got to appreciate Trump because, like,
no, you
that's how the government runs.
No, you don't.
But that's how the government runs is what I'm saying.
You still don't have to.
But that's how the government runs. That's my beef with America, right?
Yeah.
If the dude is telling us how the system actually runs, like, I'm like, so how am I supposed to take any of this seriously? Like, there's supposed to be rules that, like, all right, you break this rule, the game is over. If we're playing Uno and I get up and I slap you, the game is over. If we're playing Monopoly and I'm losing and I knock the board over, the game is over. If I'm the president of the United States and I lost the election and I have all my homies pull up to the Capitol and we're running through the Capitol and people are dying and people are getting shot, the game is supposed to be over.
He should have been executed for treason after that.
But apparently there's no rules here, right?
I understand that.
So
That's
it's like,
one
okay. But now apparently the narrative is that black men are just, we're selling out and this, that, and the third. And like, the narratives are falling into place in a way that I'm just like, I can't even get jiggy with this. Like, this is not even cute.
Well,
like, this is not even fun no more. Like,
no, I'm glad you ended there because I wanted to make my point before we move on. We're going to move on here. But my point for Black America is, I think the way it's set up right now and the way everything is, you're probably in the best favor, as Pink said, to just go with whoever the Democrats do end up choosing to go with.
Why?
Right? But hold on, because my overall point is this, and that is to avoid letting Trump get back in the office, because who knows? We don't know what those plans are. But my overall wish and hope would be if the overall black vote every black person would just not vote at all, period. That would be my number one wish list, because neither party, neither candidate, neither party, and not only these two guys throughout the history
of America
from
day one,
the black community has never benefited directly from any, direct policies from these guys. And it's empty promises, and we continuously, each election, each time, we get pumped up, we go out, and they tell us to just vote, and we do that, and we just vote, and we watch all of these different other communities and different races of people. They get all of these policies, they get everything, and we don't get a goddamn thing.
They get
ever.
all that respect, and we don't get nothing.
We don't get nothing.
And we had a president.
Even
already.
going back all the way back, we still waiting on reparations that they promised us.
Who's still waiting on reparations?
But they promised that we never even got that. But Indians got their version of reparations.
You waiting for reparations? I got a beach house in Utah for you.
LGBTQ has all of these different policies and laws that have been passed by the Democrats, Republicans, and we don't get anything
of substance.
But we make up a larger percentage than these other groups of people. You know what I mean? It's terrible. But what they do know is that we're not going to band together and unify our vote. They understand that. It's different. It's different things, and it's even going back all the way back to slavery. It's just not going to happen. But that's just my thing. So we can.
Kamala been too much of a team player too.
What?
Kamala's been too much of a team player.
In what respect?
You remember J.R. Smith?
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Remember how sometimes J.R. Smith would just get lit and just like take a shot from like half court? Like Kamala never did that. Kamala was never like, you know what? I ran for president one time. Like I still kind of want the job, low key. Like let me introduce myself to y'all.
Yeah.
Kamala never spoke to us. Kamala never expressed no firm opinions. Kamala, like, I remember you ran for president and you got smoked. Yeah. That is my only impression from you. You ran on your own 2 feet and you got smoked. And then you went with Buddy, who I guess we didn't know was old until we found out he was old. And now because he damn near died, I guess we're just going to give it to you and everyone got to rally behind you because you're the Messiah. Yeah. Great, but I still don't know shit about you.